You are back with Control Chaos on iWatchRadio.com. I'm your boy Ball Game, Just Heat. Our special guest tonight, Ms. Lauren Brown.
Hello.
Ladies, you want to pick back up on that conversation before?
Well, before we went to break, we were talking about how Lauren grew up in a very structured household,
Right.
and how they had a lot of rules and very strict parents. So we were just talking about, how it was a benefit to her. So now we want to kind of talk about as a detriment. And kind of over break, she was just stating how, with so many rules, when she went away and kind of got on her own.
Right.
That's what we're going to pick back up.
Right.
So,
The short version.
okay. So, a lot of rules. And my parents, I will say they were strict. It's not that they didn't let us not go out or things like that. Like, we used to be able to do certain things, but we didn't do sleepovers. We didn't do lock-ins at the skating rink. We didn't do that kind of stuff like what a lot of kids our age were doing.
Wait,
So-
and I'm going to cut you off, but somebody on Facebook said, my parents were not strict at all. Everyone wanted to come to our house because we could do just about anything we wanted to do.
Who said that?
My sister.
Chris.
Okay, sorry,
Oh,
go
Lord.
ahead.
Okay, so here I am. It's 8. At this point I'm 18, getting ready to graduate high school, and headed to undergrad. And I'm out of the house now. I'm living on campus.
So what happened when you got to school?
I wilded completely out.
But see, that's what happens. So basically, you keep these kids so sheltered. You don't let them do this. You don't let them spend the night. You don't let anyone else spend the night. But then you have to think when they go away to school, now they're out on their own. Now they want to do any and everything that you said that they could not do. Now, I do think that they should have structure. I do.
Yeah.
To
Definitely.
my sister's point, when we were like juniors and seniors in high school, my parents were just kind of like, look, you guys are going to be out on your own next year, in a few years. Let's start implementing some strategies of kind of how to give you a smoother transition.
Right.
So, yeah, we could have people spend the night and, I'm not going to put my parents on blast, but, I mean, we had a good time. But when we went to college, I mean, believe it or not, I went to school in Philly and had a 4.0 GPA.
4.0?
Yes. And that's because when I
Honey.
got there, I literally would I'd go wake up and go to class, and then I didn't really do much to the parties. I was partied out. I didn't have a curfew my senior year. So, I mean, I could go spend the night wherever, but I would come home. It's one thing about, and I'm not saying you should do that, but when you're not as strict and you have the options and opportunities to do it, a lot of kids won't use it. It's
Right.
just kind of well, I mean, I can, but I'm good. Right. I mean, you might wild out for a little while,
Right.
but
I don't know. I guess I'm for structure. I understand too much structure, can lead to your child kind of growing up and wilding out or whatever once they leave your house or whatever. But when I look at a lot of adults nowadays that don't have any structure, discipline, any type of work ethic, to me, it starts at a young age, and I'm all for structure. I'm all for discipline. I'm all for raising your child to be a productive citizen and not somebody that's kind of leaning on the system or lazy or they can't take care of themselves. They hate rules. Those kids.
Do you think that more people associate structure with rules as inhibitions instead of structure as rules as foundation?
I don't think.
Inhibition.
Yeah.
I think they
inhibition.
look at it as
Yeah.
inhibitions. They look at it as rules no, bad.
Bad. Right.
Instead of
But why is it? Is that a culture thing?
I think it's if you're and that's why our topic was, are you failing your kids? Because if you have no structure,
Right.
and then you put them out in this real world, and it's kind of go get you some, then they don't know what to do. They're like,
Exactly.
rules,
What are those?
What are those?
Right.
Exactly.
Why do I have these?
Why do I
Exactly.
have them now?
Right.
Right.
'Cause you
you
think-
can tell even my experiences working in certain schools before, just certain kids that they got rules and they look at the rules and they I ain't got to listen to you. You ain't my mama.
Right.
You ain't my. And it's okay, but that's where it starts though. Because
Right.
my thing. Some of these kids' parents need to be punished for their behavior. I bet you that'll change and make them
Well,
raise
they do to a
their
certain
child.
extent. It just, and unfortunately, like if your child doesn't come to school, of course the parent can get in trouble.
Right. Right.
But at the same token, you know, your child has to be enrolled somewhere. So if
Right.
they cutting up too bad, I mean, at some point you would hope that you interject. However,
Right.
in 2012, some of our kids are dealing with so many things that they should not
Shouldn't.
have to worry about.
I agree.
That they have to bring it to school, and
Right.
now you have to deal with it.
with
Like
it.
you have to figure out some structure, and like I know it's hard. Like you know, you have some parents, you know, that work and
Right.
you know can't
Right.
do whatever. But at some point, these are your children.
Right.
Like,
Right.
what's more important?
You can't be their friend. A lot of people nowadays want to be their kid's friend, and you're the parent. You know, like I tell my kids, as much as I love them, there's a certain line that you just can't cross. Like, we can play, but when Daddy says stop right there, stop right there.
As a parent, do you want to be their friend?
No, I mean I want to have a
Like-
relationship with them that they can feel comfortable to talk to me.
Yeah.
You know, but as a friend, no, not necessarily a friend. You know, I still want that
I don't think you
order
should-
of respect.
Right.
I don't think you should want to be your kids' friends until they're like grown. That's when you kind of start
Right.
working on a friendship.
Yeah, as a friendship.
But I think too, like when you have like a lack of structure, you don't have, let's say you don't have a dad in the house and mom
Right.
works and you kind of have to fend for your own. You might even have some kids raising other kids.
Right.
Then you deal with more effects of, you know,
Right.
women out here. Because I will go as far as to say a woman that wasn't raised, you know, like by her dad,
Right.
have more insecurities
Right.
and issues out in this world than women
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, had that solid foundation of a family
Right.
and things of that nature.
Right. I definitely see. I definitely agree with that. See your point.
I also think that when you have structure, it gives, and I guess you can kind of tell me this as far as the benefit part, it kind of gives children a feeling of stability and safety.
Yeah, and
I
kids,
agree.
that's something that I think a lot of people may overlook, that kids want to feel stable. They want
Right.
to see stability. So I agree with that
Right.
completely. But it just all falls in line with just structure and discipline and stability. I think all of that kind of goes together. You know, being consistent as a parent. My biggest problem with single parents, single moms, okay? I love
Parents.
single moms, single parents, period. Is that, but single moms, I'm just saying,
Fair.
single moms.
There's some single
Single
dads.
moms.
right?
No, I know, but this is my message to
Okay,
single
I'm sorry,
moms.
go ahead.
It's double.
Especially,
double moms, too.
especially if you're raising a young man. Like, don't wait until your child has done like 35 things, and then you just all of a sudden just blow up, and then you want to discipline
Right.
them. No, when they do something the first time, get on them then. Don't wait. Don't let that just build up. And they thinking they can
Right.
get away with anything, and that burns me up.
Well, I think
when I see
that
that.
I think that there definitely should be rules.
Right.
Because a lot of times children without rules have a harder time adapting to the real world.
To the
So-
real world.
But I
Get
think
to
that
work.
the rules should be realistic, and I also think that some rules should be made to be broken. And by that I mean, let's say that your child's bedtime, you want to say, I need you need to be in the bed by 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Well, you know realistically that they will probably go to sleep by 9. So you'll have a bedtime, but you'll be like, you know what, baby? Well, since you did so well with X, Y, and Z, or
Right.
you did this, mommy's gonna let you just stay up and watch TV for a little while.
Right.
So they feel like, oh, I got something to work up to. Like, even though this is my schedule, if I do this or if I work towards this, then certain things.
But that's a reward. I wouldn't necessarily look at it like breaking a rule. That's a reward
Well,
sometimes
no,
too.
not necessarily breaking a rule, but I think there are some rules that you should make that can
flexible
be
or-
flexible with.
Okay,
but
I can get with
others
that.
should be like, this is
Right.
how it's gonna be.
Right.
And I think that, I had a boss, and I always keep it, and you've heard me say this a million times. The best way to do your job is follow the rules.
Oh, you can see what we're talking about.